So if you're in the OT world, you know our ultimate goal is to help people live their lives to the absolute fullest. But how do we actually do that? Well, it all comes down to a foundational roadmap called the OT process. And today, we're going to break it all down.
And that really is the big question, isn't it? How do you bridge that gap between where a client is right now and where they desperately want to be? Whether it's getting back a skill they lost or just being able to enjoy a simple hobby again, what's the secret sauce that makes it happen?
Well, the answer is this powerful, client-centered framework that comes straight from the official guidebook for our profession, the Occupational Therapy Practice Framework, or the OTPF-4. And listen, this is not just some rigid set of steps. Think of it more like a dynamic, living roadmap that guides every single thing we do with a client.
All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to start with a bird's-eye view of this whole roadmap. Then we'll dive deep into the three main phases: evaluation, intervention, and finally, outcomes. And stick around for that last part, because we'll see how this whole thing is really a continuous loop.
Okay, so let's start with that big picture. The absolute best way to think about the OT process is as a journey. But the destination, it's not just about physical recovery. It's about enabling a client's full participation in the things that actually give their life meaning and purpose.
At its core, the process is built on these three really logical phases. First, evaluation. That's all about figuring out, okay, where are we starting from? Second is intervention. This is the action plan, the how do we get there? And third, you have outcomes, where we ask, did we make it? Did we reach our destination? To make this feel a little less abstract, let's follow a story. I want you to meet Maria. She's 65, she's recovering from a stroke, and more than anything in the world, she just wants to get back to the two things she loves most: tending to her garden and cooking for her family. Her journey is going to be our guide through this whole process.
So for Maria, where does this whole journey kick off? It all begins with phase 1, the evaluation. Now, this is so much more than a simple assessment. This is where the therapeutic relationship really begins. It's all about deeply understanding the client's unique story.
So what does evaluation actually mean according to the OTPF-4? It's this crucial info-gathering stage. And here's the key part. It's not just about what a client can't do. It's a holistic look at their dreams, their strengths, and all the factors, both in their environment and within themselves, that might help them or get in their way. And this is where it gets really cool, because the evaluation is actually two distinct parts. First up, you've got the occupational profile. This is where the OT sits down with Maria and just listens. They learn her history, what she values. This is how they find out that gardening isn't just a hobby for her, it's a huge part of her identity. Then you have the analysis of occupational performance. This is the show me part, where the OT actually observes Maria to pinpoint the specific challenges, like weakness in her hand, making it tough to grip a tool, or having trouble sequencing the steps to chop vegetables. All right, so once that really clear picture has been painted, we arrive at the next stop on our roadmap, phase 2. The intervention. Now it's time to take all that understanding and put it into action. Now, the key words to focus on here are skilled services and collaboration. This phase is really the therapeutic heart of OT. It's the doing phase, where we use our expertise to help clients actually engage in those meaningful occupations we identified earlier. This phase also has three parts. First, the intervention plan. This is where the OT and Maria team up to set clear, measurable goals. Not just get back to gardening, but something super specific, like successfully pot one plant within 2 weeks. Next is the intervention implementation. This is Maria actually doing the work, guided by the OT, and always using strategies that are based on the best evidence out there. And finally, and this is so important, is the intervention review. The OT is constantly checking in, monitoring Maria's progress, celebrating the wins, and tweaking the plan as needed. And look, don't just take my word for it. This quote from the OTPF-4 says it all. The plan is developed with clients. It's directed by their goals, their values. That's not something being done to Maria, it's being done with her. That right there is the definition of client-centered practice in action. So, after all that planning and all that doing, how do we actually know if we've reached our destination? Well, that brings us to our final phase, outcomes. This is where we measure success and, as you're about to see, where the process really comes full circle.
So, outcomes are exactly what they sound like. They are the destination we set out for at the very beginning of our roadmap. They're the tangible results of all that hard work, and they describe exactly what the client can now achieve.
And it's so important to get this.
Outcomes aren't just about, say, improving range of motion by 10 degrees. No, they're so much broader and more meaningful than that. We're looking at things like better participation in the community, a higher quality of life, a greater sense of well-being, and maybe the most important one, feeling competent again in a role they love, like gardener or family cook.
And that's the whole point. For Maria, success isn't some score on a test. It's the pure joy of cooking a simple meal for her grandchild. It's that quiet satisfaction she gets from seeing her new plants thriving. It's about getting back to the things that are her life.
Okay, so we've gone from evaluation to intervention to outcomes. It sounds pretty simple, right? Like a straight line, a 1, 2, 3 process. But is that really how it works?
The answer is a huge no. And honestly, this might be one of the most important things to remember. The OT process is not a rigid, one-way street. It's a living, breathing thing that is constantly adapting to the client.
In reality, it looks a lot more like this, a continuous loop. Those outcomes we measure, they don't mark the end, they feed directly back into a process of reevaluation. Did Maria successfully pot that plant? Amazing, let's reevaluate and set a new goal. Is she struggling with a step? No problem, let's reevaluate and tweak the intervention. It's a constant cycle of doing, checking, and adapting.
And that's the absolute beauty of this framework, because it's a cycle. Therapy is never static. It's always responsive, always perfectly in tune with the client's real-time progress, their shifting priorities, and their evolving needs. So let's pull this all together. What are the big takeaways? First, the OT process is a client-centered roadmap. It's built on those 3 core phases: evaluation, intervention, and outcomes. But remember, it is a dynamic, cyclical process, not a straight line. And every single step is guided by 2 things: collaboration with the client and the best available evidence.
At the end of the day, the OT process is so much more than just a professional guideline. It is the very framework that empowers us to help people like Maria reconnect with the activities, the occupations that give their lives meaning. It's what makes participation possible, and really, what enhances life itself.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. We've seen how powerful this process is for one person, for Maria. But what happens if we zoom out? How could you apply the same framework, evaluation, intervention, outcomes, to address the needs of an entire community, or a school, or even a whole population?